Hello my beautiful friends, it's Amanda here, and today we're talking about a new release from NARS. This is part of their holiday collection. It's the Hot Tryst Cheek Palette. Their whole holiday collection has this really punk rock, studded, very edgy, very NARS type of theme. This packaging is so glorious. You wouldn't want to accidentally step on it in the middle of the night, but then again, you wouldn't want to do that anyway, so I guess that's not a factor. The Hot Tryst Cheek Palette is currently available. You can find it at Sephora or the NARS website. I'll look around and see if there are any other retailers that are currently stocking this one. I looked for it on the Ulta site and I didn't see it available when I was shopping for this palette. Sometimes it takes a while to pop up at other retailers, so I'll keep you updated in the description box. This palette is $59 and it has 6 cheek colors inside. This has a metallic finish, but this is plastic. It feels nice and weighty like a typical NARS face palette would. And it has this inset red NARS logo. So beautiful. I love this packaging. There is a nice big mirror in here. This palette is not a magnetic closure. It has a lock and clasp closure. It is very difficult to open. I struggle with a lot of my NARS palettes. That's like my biggest NARS palette pet peeve. Sometimes it's the only criticism I have, so I guess it's fine. All the powders have the same cool geometric studded type of print. There are 2 highlighters and 4 blush colors. All of the shades in here do have a really sheen finish to them. You'll see this in the swatches, but this lighter highlighter is the only one that seems to have like an actual glitteriness to it. The rest of them are just glowy. Especially the blushes just give such a beautiful, healthy glow type of flush. So I love the finishes on these. These powders do remind me quite a bit of the newly reformulated highlighting powders. Before we get into talking about formula too much, I just want to do a little cost breakdown for you. I love NARS cheek palettes, and part of the reason why I really enjoy their palettes is because they tend to be a really good value. This Hot Tryst cheek palette is $59 US. It has 2.35 grams per pan. So that's just over 14 grams in total product in this cheek palette. So with this Hot Tryst cheek palette, you're paying $4.18 per gram. Value-wise, that's kind of in the middle. For example, the newly reformulated highlighters that they released this year are $38, which I know that sounds crazy, but there's almost 14 grams of product in here. There's 13.9 grams of product in here. So these are only $2.73 per gram in US dollars. When you look at that number, the Hot Tryst cheek palette doesn't seem like a good value, but you have to take into account there are 2 highlighters in this cheek palette, but there are 4 blushes, and that's really where the value's coming in. A typical NARS blush is priced at $30, and the pan only has 4.8 grams of product inside. So when you're buying a single NARS blush, you're paying $6.25 per gram. So value-wise, this cheek palette is sort of in the middle of the spectrum as far as NARS price per gram goes. But when you factor in the special packaging and the fact that you get to try a whole bunch of shades, particularly if you're a working makeup artist, something like this is going to be a really, really good value for your kit. I am going to show you swatches and a demo of me using this cheek palette today. I just want to run over a few of the claims. First of all 6 of these shades are limited edition and exclusive to this palette. These are just shades for holiday 2018. These are not re-promotes of permanent shades from the NARS line. According to NARS, this is a sheer buildable formula. It's meant to be used dry for a really subtle look, or you can use these powders wet for more intensity. That's something really important to take away from the claims, because if you just pick this up and you're expecting the typical NARS blush, which tends to be very intense, that is not what this is. It's not what it's meant to be. It's not what you're gonna get. Now I'm going to show you some close-up swatches of all 6 shades on the back of my hand with no primer or foundation down first. I'm going to show you the shades 2 at a time, moving from right to left in the palette. So these 2 highlighters, the 2 lighter blushes, and then the 2 deeper blushes. For each shade, I'm gonna do a finger swatch, and then I'm also gonna do a dampened brush swatch. So for the brush swatches, I'll be using this little strobing brush from Real Techniques. I wanted something that was more fluffy, like a face brush. I didn't want to use an eyeshadow brush because that's not really feasible for how you would apply these cheek products. And I'm just gonna spray this brush with a little bit of Fix Plus. Let's go ahead and jump into the swatches. Okay, these are the finger swatches, and then these are the damp brush swatches. The two shades that you're seeing right now are the two highlighter shades from the palette. This silvery shade is called King's Road, and the champagne beige is called Friction. These are the two blushes in the center of the palette. This one from the top row is a pale mauve pink. It's called Swindle. And then this coral color is called Bowery. Here we have the last two blushes. These are the deeper blushes in the palette. First we have Untamed, which is a sort of purpley red, and then Adrenaline, which is more of a brick red with a little gold shimmer. These do look pretty similar on my skin tone though. I think in person you can tell this one's more purpley, more of a berry, and this is more of a red. Now that you've seen all the swatches, I want to show you a quick demo using some of the shades from this palette, and then I'll wrap up all my thoughts at the end. When I mentioned on my Instagram stories that this palette was on my Sephora wish list, I got quite a few replies from people saying that they heard this wasn't very pigmented and they hadn't heard good things about it. So I was a little bit nervous because this looked so beautiful, and just between the gorgeous packaging and the fact that I always love NARS cheek palettes, I really had my heart set on this one. So I was a little bit disheartened when I heard that so many people weren't enjoying it. But then I read the description and it says point blank, it's supposed to be a sheer, natural, buildable formula. The powders can be intensified when they're worn wet. So I'm not surprised at all that this is a little bit more of a sheer formula. You may or may not know, but I don't watch reviews of any product that I plan on doing a video about because I don't want other people's opinions to interfere with my own experience with the product. But in this case, I think that other people kind of set my expectations lower, and I ended up actually really enjoying the palette. First of all, it was way more pigmented than I expected because I didn't expect it to be pigmented at all after hearing people complain about that. And I also like a more toned down cheek product. I like a soft glowy blush, a soft natural lit from within kind of highlighter. So these products really suit my personal style. So between that and the fact that other people kind of set the bar lower than it needed to be, I love this palette. I think it's beautiful. The products are the kind of thing that I'm gonna reach for and I'm gonna enjoy using. I love the versatility of the dry and wet formula. I like the shade range. I think there's something for everyone in here. As I mentioned in the beginning of the video, this would be great for a makeup artist because you get a lot of shades that will work for many different skin tones and many different makeup looks. But just as somebody who loves collecting beautiful makeup. The packaging is like a work of art, inside and out, so gorgeous, very unique. I like the powders. I think they look beautiful on my skin. The formula has a lot of versatility. I found that it was easy to build up. I applied it dry, I tried it wet, I tried layering, and it just really worked well for me. I do have the other cheek palettes on the way. There are some little trio cheek palettes, one of which is an Ulta exclusive, so I'm still waiting on the Ulta palette. It's the Heartbreaker palette, I think. And then I'm gonna do a compare and contrast of the two trio cheek palettes. So stay tuned, that video will hopefully be coming soon if Ulta ever delivers my package. I'd love to hear what you think about this Hot Tryst palette and any of the other NARS holiday releases that are coming out. Leave your comments, let us know what you think, and as always, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in my next video. Bye. They need to stop making yummy lip glosses because all I want to do is put them on my lips, smell them, and then lick them off my lips and then do that all over again. I'm sure that's perfectly healthy, it's fine. Hot Tryst. I'm sure some people are going to be offended by the names or something. Guys, it's NARS, like, it's time to adjust our expectations at this point. Not gonna do it. I love holidays. Yay, holiday! I can do math. Huh? Zoom in? Does that help? Not really. Whatever. Anytime now. Anytime you want to film, say anything about products, anything, just go right ahead. Take your time. It's fine. Cheek palette. Okay. That's not hard to remember. I don't know why I had trouble with it. They do Also, if you're a makeup hoarder, like me, who? This next part is really important. Are you listening? Gather your thoughts, gather them. Complaining that this palette isn't pigmented is like buying a dog and then complaining that it doesn't say meow. You should have got a cat if you wanted meow. You know what I'm saying? No shade, but like, what'd you expect? Sassy. In many different, I don't even know what I'm trying to say. Can anybody help me here? You're not there. It's just a camera. All right, that's enough. You've embarrassed yourself enough for today.